Hi there, it's Janice Thompson from JazzleDazzleCraft.co.uk. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I live and work in Scotland. So today, I don't know if this is the last filming class in the post for Wisteria Wishes or the second last one. I was like, I might be able to do it all in one film. I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. So what I did though was used one sheet of stamping to make the topper on this card, the bag and the tag. So that's where we're going. So what I'll do is I'll do the stamping first. This one was done in lovely polished pink. It was done in polished pink and soft succulent. I'm changing up the colours. That's what you've got, you've got polished pink ribbon and polished pink card in your kit, but again you could change this up to suit yourself, you know, whatever you fancy. So I've decided to go with Garden Green and bring in one of the very new colours, Orchid Oasis, and I've got some Orchid Oasis ribbon as well, just to see let you see what it would look in a different colour. So of course I will, when I come to the card, I'll need to cut myself another piece of card, but for that, but I'll do that at a later date. Let's do the stamping first. So basically, I haven't remembered whether I did the stalks first or the spikes first. Stalks, and then we'll put, so right. So we need Garden Green, and I've already splodged on there, so let's turn it over. You'll see I've just finished filming card 3, so the same things are out. Now, I know that on my box, I'm going to have, I think I've got about an inch. Oh gosh. Well, look at the card now, isn't that unusual? Oh dear, well that one won't be going in the photographs, will it? That's that one spoiled. Oh, well, I don't know. I'd have to try a piece of ribbon diagonally across there. I think that is really spoiled. But I can easily take this off and make a new one if I had the desire to. But I have already photographed this, so we're all right with that. Okay, so that's all just purely for your amusement. Right, so this is the box that you're going to make to pop your hand cream on in. So, and we need the stalks for some. Don't need to put it right on the bottom, because what I was trying to say is it's about 1.5 inches. Have I got my measurements? 1 3/8 of an inch up. So maybe just take it, you know, about 1 inch up. Right, Janice, stamp instead of blethering, because so I can have these up from the bottom a bit. So I'm stamping once, moving it along, and stamping twice. Overlap a wee bit maybe. You don't have to, but you can. You can vary the height a bit as well. I seem to be going, you might want to be straight, but it doesn't matter, it'll be equally beautiful. So take that up a wee bit further this time. And down. It's a few weeks since I made the originals and I haven't written everything down. So just, I've got my measurements, but there we go, there's a whole lot of stalks along there, and then I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis. See what that will look like with the Garden Green. I just want to make sure that I did clean off the, I think I did, but let's make sure, 'cause maybe not. what was I using in Crush Curry in the last card, so let's, that would give us a really weird shade of green, I would think. Right, so I've got my texture one and I've got my 3 spikes. So again, it's like stamp on, stamp off basically. So ink it up, and these are upward spikes. These do look more like delphiniums. Aim them at the top of the spikes and then look for your Stampin' off. It's rather pretty actually. I don't think I had these colours when I designed the class. Where is it? I can't find it. There it is. No, it's there. It's overlapping others. That's okay though. That's it. So just take your time and find what you're after. I think I maybe spaced them out a bit more as I went, maybe not. I don't stress it though, because I can't imagine anyone's going to come along and say, oh look, you didn't stamp that on, that's stuck. It looks rather pretty. So it's stamp on, stamp off. So these do look like delphiniums to me. Love it. And then it's the same with this, but I'm not going to bother on the ones in the background, just the ones in the foreground, just to add the texture. Just gives you the detail. I'm not taking too much trouble to line it up, obviously you can. Doing a whole sheet of stamping like this is good fun. You could use this to make bookmarks as well. Love it. So that's the stamping. That's all you need to do to get your full sheet of stamping. Now we're going to cut this up. Now this is odd what I'm doing, because I did this original one in my American measurements in the inches. So this time I've cut the card in our centimetres way for making the card up, but I'm still going to cut the box in inches simply because I use my scoreboard and it's in inches. So that's, yeah. So for the hand cream bag box, whatever you want to call it, you need that to be 7 inches by 8 inches. So the 8 inches is the longest part of this. So let's cut that off. So this is a piece for the box. Oops. So we're using a full sheet of our UK. If this doesn't work with your measurements across the pond, then you could just do 2 sheets of stamping. That's the piece for the box, so it needs to be 7 by 8. So we'll move this to 7. That is going to be, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not convinced. I don't think that's long enough. I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to chop that off just now. Because I'll look at that again when I'm doing the box. But I've cut it the 8 inches that it said. And then this might all go wrong and I might have to start again. Right, and then in centimetres for my card, I need, where's my stamped layer? Needs to be 7.5 centimetres. So that'll be the little bit for the tag. This is 7.5 wide by 11.9 long. But see, because I've got this, I don't want the gap on my card, so I'm just going to chop that wee piece off so that the flowers are coming from the bottom of my card, and then pop that to just before the 12, 11.9. Now while I've got my trimmer out, and remember that I need a piece of Orchid Oasis card. I don't have a scrap of this yet, so we'll just have to do this. So where it says on my instructions polish pink layer, I need this to be 8 by 12.4. So 12.4. I know this is a bit wasteful, but I just wanted to use some of these lovely new colours. I think I did that in the first card as well, didn't I? Does that look right? Yeah, that looks right. So that's the piece for the card. That's spare. That's my piece for my tag. Now, I'm a bit concerned here at the moment because I think that this looks more than 7 inches tall. Now, I might have changed the measurements. Where's my ruler? That's 8 inches tall. So I might have this wrong altogether. It should be scoring on the 7 inches. Oh well, we've still got plenty. I think I've done this incorrectly. I'm going to cut this to 8 by 8 for the moment, but when I do my scoring you'll see if it should have been, and then I can change my instructions for you at least. I think it's 7 this way, which then would have left you, so I'm actually going to, this bit doesn't look so good, I'm going to take that off there I think. Well, if this is wrong, I'll just delete this. And so we've got another bit for a tag as well. We've got 2 bits for tags with this, doing the measurements this way. Don't worry, I will write them out properly. This video is good because I'm checking my own instructions, which were clearly not too good. Right, and then I've pulled that cable, so let's just check we're still filming. Yeah, right, so let's get this so that you can see. Right, so that is now 7 inches that way, 8 inches that way. Let me get my score tool. Obviously you can stop this video at any point you want. So I'm going to score at 2. I bring this on so that if you want to take a screenshot, but I think that's on the 7. On the 7-inch side, score at 2, 3 and 3/8. Now these are these little individual things, they're eighths. So 2 and then 3 and 3/8, 5 and 3/8, and 6 and 3/4. So I've left myself a very narrow bit for gluing. But that, it'll be fine, and and then it'll be okay. And then turn that and score it at 1 and 3/8. So that's the 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8 that way. So that's everything for our bag. Let's make it up and see if it works. Okay, so now you score and burnish your folds. So we fold it up. Obviously you can stop and start this video. On all your score lines, fold them and then burnish them with your bone folder. And then this little narrow strip. You could make that a bit wider if you want. That's basically the basic construction. Right, and then what we want to do is take away this long thin rectangle. So you cut up the middle of the score line and just take that out altogether. Now this little strip here is your glue for gluing, so I want to just miter the corners a bit. 1 and 2, and then we just want to cut up these 3 score lines here just to the first score. 1, 2, and 3. So that is basically your bag. Now I am going to be using my crocodile, whatever hole punch you have, or if necessary just poke a wee hole to pop the ribbon through on this. So when I remember which glue I was using, I'm just going to run a wee thin line and just a bit thick at the top there. I'm just going to use this to lift some of that glue off actually, and that's more than enough there. Now if you fold that over there, and then this, you can use tape. Oh, that looks quite good, it's met up quite well there. You can use double-sided tape. I just prefer my wet glue because it just gives me time. It gives me that wiggle room. like to just make sure that it can fold flat like that. Whoops. So, and then it's just the bottom is easy. Which is the back? The back is here. And so I want to bring the front piece over to the back, just so that it all just looks neat. So I just need a little bit of glue here to hold the bottom together. We can pop that and pop something like a ruler or something, and just to make sure that that glue and the paper have made contact, and that's that. And then we just want to pinch these together here, and depending on what you're using for fastening, I mean, you could just clip that with like a wee peg, or you know, likes of these sort of things. It doesn't have to be with ribbon. If you've got clips like that, you know, that makes a nice, you can just drape some ribbon on that. What I did was, though, I used my crocodile. If you have one, that's great. If you don't, just, like I say, use the clips. And I just made two holes, she says. Do them near the edge so they go through. The good thing about these crocodiles is they'll go through all your layers at once, which is handy. And then this one, same at this side. Whoops. The good thing, if it goes through all the layers at once, you know then. That's it. Well, I didn't do that very well, did I? Got that a bit squint. I don't know how I did that. We'll just leave it alone, it's fine. Well, actually, if I pop this one further to the further over, that will be. That will hide, it should hide that hole with the ribbon, never mind. We'll just not worry about it. You take time and line yours up. So then your hand cream will pop in there. Obviously I've not given that long enough to dry. Give yours time to dry before you start poking holes in it. And just pop your ribbon through. And you tie it. Because I'm wanting to hide that hole, I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times and then tie it. But you won't make that mistake, so you won't have to do that. And then you've got these two extra pieces to make tags with. So I just, here's my trimmer. Basically, if you've got a punch that you can make a fancy shape, great. You don't need to, just trim them up to whatever length you want. So you want to about there, that one can be quite long. Then you can write whatever you want on the other side. Use your hole punch. again. Where's the other one? You don't necessarily even need to use your trimmer. You can chop this with scissors. You could round the corners. You can do whatever takes your fancy. And just a piece of ribbon. I've lost one already. Where has it gone? I'm severely challenged. This is a how not to make things video. I have no idea where to put the other strip. It's not with the trimmer. Did it go with... Well, it'll turn up, I've no doubt. What a nightmare. Well, hopefully you'll not lose your tag. Just popping this through. I have no idea. I can't see it on the floor either. Oh, there it is. It's fired itself at the bin. So we'll just get a wee bit of ribbon there, and then I'm less likely to lose it, am I? Where is my snips? So this metallic ribbon that comes in the new ink with the new all 5 new in colours. Like, just do it this way, just fold it. That's usually what I do. Fold it, push it through, make a loop and take the 2 ends through the loop, and that makes a nice tag. So that's your 2 tags. It's your hand cream box. Obviously you can write your wee message and pop that on, and then you've got a spare one, and then we can make up our card. So not so, it's like lots of how not to's, but never mind. Right, so to make this card, and I mean obviously I did that with the ink just purely for your amusement, dearie me. Okay, so where are my brushes? I need a brush that will work with this. I think this one's clean. Right. So what I did, I don't need this pink now. What I did was I cut this designer series paper. What you'll see is that that's the way it goes together. That I cut it to length. All the measurements are on the document. I think I cut it that way around. So I left it the width it was, excuse me, and I cut it to, where's my designer series paper? Yeah, at 14.4 lengthwise, the piece of designer series paper, but because this is already nearly card size, I left it as wide as it was, in which I don't remember, and I cut this strip at 4.8 centimetres wide, leaving a slightly wider piece, so that the thinner piece. And this card base is a normal card base with a strip cut off. And although that doesn't look like it, it is exactly half that's cut off. So you can either do this, I've already cut these to size to do the card, but you could do the whole piece together. So I've really just inked it up. with the ink and a blending brush. You could use a sponge or a dauber, or not at all, you might just want to leave it. But with this metallic paper, it is quite interesting that you can change the colour of it. And the metallic resists the ink, the foiling. So it really is, and you can then start off light and then you can add, remember that you can add more colour, you can't take it away. Oops, just take your time. I'm doing this in a bit of a hurry because I feel I've been on this video for a long time. I think, although I've been a bit disorganised in this film, I think you can stop it and replay it, and I think, you know, there's enough there for you to manage. So basically this is kind of like a card inside a card. So basically we've got a card base, but we've cut a strip off, and then we've got a little card which is smaller, proportionally smaller. I'm being aware that my fingers are quite inky. And then that's the mechanism, is that's going to open, and then that opens. So we're going to put the designer series paper on here. And it's the narrower strip is going on the front. Glue, come on. Which one? Yeah, this one. For the moment anyway. So really it's just a matter of now of decorating. I need to put a sentiment on my stamped sheet as well, and then this one, and it's just so that this extends inside a bit further than the fold over. With the, remember it's got a wee white border around. And then before I make this up, I need to put my sentiment on here. So where's my Wisteria stamp set? So on that one I put to a friend who's all kinds of wonderful, but that's never, I'm definitely not sending that out. So which one will fit in the spaces? You've got to be aware of the space you have. Happiness grows within. I think we'll just go with to a friend who's all kinds of wonderful, because I know that's going to fit the right way around there. So let's just get a block. And again, we're just using the Orchid Oasis for this one. And it just, this is simply just to show you, if you choose to use your own colours and things that you have at home, then that's fine. To a friend who's all kinds of wonderful. And then it's just make up this. So that goes on to there. Although it looks like, you know, it's a fancy fold, but it's not complicated. Now you need to be aware when you're doing this that this card is going to be folding that way, so you're popping this on the opposite way round. I bet you were all watching for me to do that wrong. I bet you all knew that. Right, so a good way to use these, all those cards up that you did the wrong way round by accident. And then glue the back of this. Like that. And it's simply going to go.
Playing I Am a Gummy Bear, the Gummy Bear song. For over 90 million songs on demand,
Alexa, be quiet.
I Am a Gummy Bear, the Gummy Bear song.
Alexa, quiet. I am really being challenged today. I don't know what I said to deserve that. So there you go, you can write in there. And there's your card. Maybe I'm just trying to slide that. I just think it's just a wee bit too far that way. But there we go. We'll flip, flap. Write your message. Done and dusted. Just ignore that. And obviously you can add your butterflies, which would be quite handy just to hide that little blemish. However, I don't think any amount of butterflies are going to hide that. Accident with the ink pad. Well, do you know, close your ink pads as you go and then you won't have this. So I'll just pop that out of the way. So we have just made a card, a gift and a tag that all match together. So isn't that lovely for someone to receive? Yep, and the other would have been nice that I already made. I used one of my punches to shape the top of that one, and that is, well, you have the materials to make the pink one in your class kit. Thank you so much for your patience. If I made you laugh, then that's good. Laughing is so good for us. I wouldn't pretend I did it on purpose, but anyway, thank you very much. I really hope you've enjoyed this kit. If you've got any issues with it, just fire me a message and I will help you. Thank you. Bye bye.